Hello guys, it's Claymore here. We got some very good news. Just finished up my stream and apparently the patch is coming tomorrow. 12.6 is arriving tomorrow along with the wipe. I don't think any of us expected it to be so short. During the pre-wipe, we've had 2 days. So kudos to Battlestate for surprising us with this. Obviously with every patch comes patch notes. So I figured that whilst I'm here, alert and awake, I figured we might as well just go through the patch notes and break down the more noticeable stuff. So let's just get right into it. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Moscow time, that'll be 9 a.m. GMT for anyone in my time zone. We will plan to start installing the patch for 12.6. This will take between 3 to 5 hours, and the game will be stopped for this time. There will be a global wipe of characters. It won't, however, affect your save weapon presets and examined items in the handbook. So, if you have weapon presets ready, make sure you get them all saved up ready for tomorrow. So the first thing what I'm noticing here is a bunch of flea market stuff, and there's adding a capture system. If you don't know what a capture is, it's like that bot detection system you'll find on like logging into your any website really. You'll usually have to go through maybe a few pictures to make sure it's you're not a bot or whatever. So they're going to be adding that kind of system if it detects suspicious behavior, and if it cannot be passed, we'll get a 5-minute ban from the flea market, and then it'll go and decrease every time after each successive failure. So they're adding some kind of like a few barricades in case we get any flea market bots or anything like that, or scripters. So nice little news there. So that's pretty much this first part here. All stashes for all editions increased by 2 rows. So we're getting a general stash increase. So you won't be struggling for space nearly as much at the beginning, although you will be struggling a little bit. Improve the display of objects via thermal imaging devices through thermal images now, as in real life. It is impossible to spot through glass. So we've been asking for this a while now. We're getting it finally, so you're not going to be able to see people through glass with the Reap IR, or the Flare, or the T7s, whatsoever. So, good news for that as well. Ability to lean while prone. Added the first iteration of Steam Audio, this is one of the bigger ones, and then improving the positioning of sound in-game. It can be turned on with the Steam option Steam Audio binaural audio in the game settings. This option is disabled by default. So, the first module of Steam Audio is here with patch 12.6. You will need to enable it via settings menu. It will be disabled by default, so don't forget to do that when you get into the game. So we're going to be now. The rest of it seems to be more of an explanation of how the new found and raid system is going to work, and what the changes have done to it. So right now, the flea market will be found in raid only. Only items that are found in raid will be able to be sold on the flea market. Big, huge change, which is a massive change. So as you can see here, now you can't sell items that were not found in raid on the flea market. This will not apply to weapons, so you can still make weapons and sell them on the flea market. So if you wanted to, if you had like a weapon lying around that you weren't using, or you don't have the right ammo for yet, you can sell that on the flea market and make some money from it. Or you can even build a bunch of weapons, invest a bit of money, and then sell them back in the market for an increase. So we'll still be able to use the market, but just not nearly as much of a way as you are doing right now, which, great thing. When combining stacks of items found in raid with items not found in raid, all items will receive not found in raid status. So if you are combining 2 stacks of items, let's say ammo, let's say rubles, etc., you got to be careful, because if you combine them by mistake, they will all not have the found in raid status. So just remember that. Items that are placed in the secure container get the status found in raid only when you exfil the location with the status survived. Ran through is not counted, so you can't loot stuff and run straight to the extract anymore. So, apologies hatch runners, but you're not going to be making as nearly as much money as you are doing right now. That sucks for the players who are genuinely broke and need to make some money, but it's just been an abused system for a while now, so I'm happy that we're getting this change, at the very least. When you exit with the status run through or death, all items in your inventory that you brought out lose the found and raid status, so if you die with something in your secure container, unfortunately, you won't be able to put that in the flea market. If you enter a raid with the items that have the found and raid status, the items lose this status. So, sorry guys, but you're not going to be able to buy something from the flea market and try and work around it that way. Not going to happen. When buying it from the flea market, the item also loses the found and raid status. The quest reward obtained by completing a quest, crafting the hideout, the drops, items obtained through the scab box will have found and raid status. So, you'll be able to use the hideout still. Grab a lot of your quest items and or stuff more for hideout itself. The offensive skills will not have the ban and race status. The large number of UI layouts enabled by bug fixes. The resource of items, fuel, medicine, and etc. is now displayed in the flea market interface, so you don't have to click as many buttons, basically. And now you'll be able to determine between rubles, USD, and euros. So those sneaky boys who try to put those multiple thousands of dollars or euros and you accidentally press it thinking it's a few thousand rubles. Luckily, we have some protection against that now. We've got more parts for the R50 and M4, but here's the good thing. You will not be able to buy them from traders. You'll need to actively search for them. Locations and inventory of bots, so unique items found only in raid. We've got some more clothing here, some new gear. We've got some various optimization AI improvements here, a bunch of bug fixes, of course. You can, I'll leave the link down below if you wanted to peruse. But we'll just jump straight down to the chain section here. This typically the more juicier stuff. So, remove the auto notification about the completion of crafting during the raid, so it's not going to scare you to death if you're focusing and you get the crafting notification anymore, which is great. Can't throw grenades while sprinting. So yeah, nice little change there. Change the conditions for the state to survive. Now, if you were wanting to know what requirements you need to have the ban and raid status, and also be able to get out with it and keep that ban and raid status when you extract, this is what you need to do. You need to stay in the raid for at least 10 minutes, or gain at least 600 experience before leaving the location. So, like once again, going back to before, you're not going to be able to just loot something and run out, especially if it's for a ban and raid required task. You'll need to either stay in the raid for longer, or you'll need to kill enough things or loot enough things in order to gain the necessary experience to get out. 600 experience is a decent amount at the beginning of the wipe, so keep that in mind. Keep track of your time, and at the very least, make sure you get a few kills before leaving if you do need these items ban and raid status. Increase the amount of experience required for the first 20 character levels, so it will be a bit longer. We'll see how that goes. They've simplified Jaeger's quests. And now, this is a big thing for me, because I don't know about you guys. Jaeger's a bitch. Jaeger's not a nicer quest for. So I'm happy we're getting some simplified quests for that. Changed various old quests. New rewards have been added, so we get some variation with rewards and stuff. Large number of rarity edits and chances of item spawns. We're going to be getting a bit more dynamic loot spawns around in different locations of the map. Like here in the loot containers. Improve the quality of loot issued for a successful extraction with a friendly scab. We'll see if this works, because this hardly works for me. But the TLDR is you'll get better stuff if you manage to extract with a friendly scab. If you guys can try to do that, go ahead. I might try it myself. We'll see how the climate is, I suppose you could say. Various changes in the characterization of items, various changes in the equipment of bots and the player scabs, and various changes in loot spawn points locations. And that's pretty much it. So in terms of general content, as you can see, we're not getting a huge amount, but we are getting a decent amount. We are getting some much required and requested features and gameplay changes for a while now. And we're getting some cool stuff as well. Steam audio, we're getting better protection against flea market bots and scripters. Hatchet running, especially at higher levels, won't be nearly as viable now. And of course, we're going to be getting some more stuff, new gear, some new parts, hopefully some new weapons. We'll see. But I figured I'd just quickly run through the patch notes with you guys and give a brief breakdown and explanation in case there was any confusion. Guys, I will see you all tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a really big stream tomorrow, so make sure you're around there. Hopefully the servers aren't too crazy when we log on. And guys, enjoy the rest of your night playing Tarkov. Happy wipe day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.